So I'm recording. Yeah, so in the simplest terms possible, a website is a collection of web pages under one domain. Okay, this is what I mean. A website is a collection of several web pages under one domain name. Okay, so the building blocks of a website are pages. And when I talk about pages, I mean the sections of a website that you can actually access within a website, like the home, that is a home page, resources, that is another page, tips and tricks, that is another page, contact, that is also another page. So together, put together under one domain name. A domain name, now you have to understand this. This is where you bring out your books and pens. A domain name is a unique name that you give a website. Okay, so every website out there has a domain name that is unique to it. There can never be two websites that have the same domain name or have the same name. It is like an ID to a person. Every person has an ID or a phone number to every individual. Every individual can have their own phone number. Huwezi pata ni mbili for two people. No. So similarly, a domain name is a unique name for a website. Okay, so every website out there has its unique name. That name is what we call the domain name. So what was I saying? I was saying a website has pages. Now, a collection of these pages under one domain name is what we call a website. Okay. Now, first thing tumeelewa what a website is. So if we know what a website is, what exactly is web design? So web design is the process of creating the visual structures of a website. Okay, the visual structures of a website. Nikisema visual structures, I mean everything and anything that you see on a website. Okay, from the text kama hizi, from the buttons, from the images like these ones here, to what else? To interactive parts like these ones. We call them points of interactions, like these ones. To animations. Some have animations, like the apple.com has very beautiful animations. Okay, so the visual structures need anything that you see. A collection of anything that you see on a website. Okay, from the images, text, buttons, animations, videos, hizo zote collectively they make or they form the visual structure of that website. Okay, the apple.com in a letter kujua. Let us use another one to demonstrate, like Nike. I think everybody knows what Nike is and what they do. Sindio? So we go to that. Yeah. Let it open, give it some time. Yeah, so you see, everything that you see on this website makes up its visual structure. Now, web design is the process of creating such visual structures. Okay, images, buttons, videos like those ones, and many more. Logos, kama hizo, anything that you see on a website, the process of creating it is what we call web design. So is what we call web design. So to me understand what a website is, to me understand what web design is, the process of creating the visual structures of a website. Now, in web design, kuna kuanga na two very important concepts. Okay, number one is user experience, and number two is user interface. Okay, so user experience or UX is basically what you feel when you visit a website. Okay, it is the feeling you have when you visit a website. Now, feeling, okay, not feeling ni kama you feel hunger, you feel sad, ama you feel hard, you feel happy. The feeling is actually it is the experience you get from a website. For example, I was looking for let's say I'm looking for what? Now, this website, no, let us use the apple.com is better. Yeah, for example, we know that currently the iPhone 16 is selling like hotcakes, ndio? But I'm not interested in the iPhone 14. What I'm interested in the okay, I'm not interested in the iPhone 16. I want the 14 one. So when I come to the Apple website, how easy is it for me to get that what I'm looking for? Okay, so utapata things like search bars. You see, search bars to help you. So the experience that you feel that you have, or the ease of use that you have when using a website is what we call user experience. Okay, user experience. How easy is it? How easy is it for you to use a given website? Okay, so as a good web designer, you have to consider user experience, and you also have to consider user interface. Now, user interface, I can in the place of visual structures, I can easily slide in user interface, because interface is the points of interactions. Kama hizi search bars, things like forms, okay, vitu kama hizo. So interface, you can say to interface ni kama the visual structure of that website. Okay. So as a web designer, good web designer, you have, when you sit down to design a website, the two things you have to consider ni user experience, number one, and user interface. You want to make the website very easy for everybody that comes to visit that website looking for information. And you want to make the interface, that is the visual structure, very appealing and easy to use too when a visitor visits. Okay. Now, let us go back kidogo, like some years ago, not so long ago, like in the 90s, people would sit down literally and write code in programming languages. You know, to come up with a website structure like this one, you actually need to know how to code, especially in HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Okay, so back in the 90s, people would sit down literally and start coding in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the building blocks of any given website out there. Okay, the building blocks of any given website. You must code in HTML for the structure. So HTML is for the structure. Ni kama hii, tukiongelelea visual structure, unaona like this section is partitioned into two, section 1 and section 2. So whoever did this, what they did is they used HTML, no, to partition these two. So HTML was used for the structure of the website. CSS was used for things like font and the looks of the website. Unaona how that button behaves when I hover my mouse over it. Unaona inakuwa something else, as a different color, kitu kama hiyo. Also the shape of it. That is CSS at work. Now, JavaScript at work. This is how JavaScript at work looks like. Kitu kama hii. When I click on that, you see it is opening another page. Okay, so JavaScript inakuletea vitu kama hizo. That is what it is responsible for. So the main building blocks of a website, any given website out there, ni hizi tatu. So it is very important that you know some basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as a web designer. Okay, moving on. So thanks to technology, in the years 2002 to 2003, Apple, a content management system by the name Wordpress was introduced. Okay, so by the introduction of a content management system in 2003, that meant that these people who would sit down and write code for hours and hours, now their work had become easier because they could now use content management systems. Okay, so a content management system is a very special software that enables you as a web designer to create websites without necessarily knowing how to code. Okay, tumesema hapa juu like back in the 90s watu walikuwa na code manually, but thanks to technology, content management systems were introduced, and now people could actually create websites without necessarily having to code through a content management system. Okay, so the most popular content management system out there today in it WordPress. Now, WordPress is the one we are going to look at. Extensively. That is what we are going to use in this course. Okay, so WordPress is the most powerful, the most popular one, powering over 43% of all the websites on the internet today. So you see, 43 percentage, hiyo inamaanisha like very many developers ama very many web designers prefer using WordPress as compared to the other content management systems like Shopify. You know, Shopify is also one of the content management systems out there. We also have Squarespace, we have Drupal, we have Wix, we have Joomla, and many others. Ziko mingi sana. There is another one that is trending right now, inaitwa Odoo. They are running very good ads. So Odoo is also a content management system, or something like that. But WordPress, of course, WordPress beats them all because of its flexibility and ease of use. Okay, so that is what we are going to look at in length. Okay. Uh-huh. Let us see. Let us see. Now, that is a brief introduction into web design. Okay, that is a very brief introduction to web design. Now, we had an assignment here. The first question is find out what domain names are and how they work. Okay, so in the last few minutes tumeangalia what a domain is. Nikasema a domain name is a very unique name that you give to a website. Any given website has only one domain name, and there can never be two websites with the same name. Okay, there can never be two websites with the same name, as in there can only be one apple.com venye hii iko. Okay, there can never be two. So that is what basically, in the simplest terms possible, that is what a domain name is. Okay, now find out what web hosting is and how it works. Now, web hosting, you see, a website like this one is a collection of files actually. Any given website, kama hii, it's a collection of files. This, there's something wrong with this website. Acha nifunge. Also, this is a collection of files. Now, these files need storage. Okay, so the place that we store these files is what we call a hosting place, or a hosting service, or a web server. Okay, or a web hosting platform. Okay, so to better understand what I'm saying, acha tufungue this. Let us open this structure here. Okay, so typically this is the ecosystem of the internet, as in this is basically what happens when you go looking for a website like I did this on tajmedia.co.ke. The process depicted in a picture, this is how it looks like. So this is me using my laptop. I'm typing in a name of a website like apple.com, nike.com. So what it does, my laptop sends a request to the internet. Okay, not to the internet, but to the server, web server. Okay. Now this web server is this what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about as a web host. Okay. That is the web host I'm talking about. So when you come to your computer, maybe it is your mobile phone, it is your laptop, it is your desktop, it is your tablet, whatever means you're using to access the internet. So when you search for a website, first of all, it sends a request to the server where your website files are stored, and the server decides that if you're looking for that, then that is what I'm going to give you. So it responds, it sends it to the internet, and from the internet you can access it from your browser, like I'm doing right now. Okay, like I'm doing right now. So these two are very important. Or is it? These two are very important. No, my notes. I'm looking for my notes. These two are very important: domain name and web hosting services. Okay, because without this, you cannot host your website, or your website cannot be live on the internet. Okay, so as an alternative of this, as an alternative of web hosting services and domain names, we are going to use something by the name localhost. Okay, so we understand that our files, our website files, are actually stored away from our computers. They are stored on a web server ama on a web host that is away from our computer. Okay. Lakini for the purpose of learning, this is where you bring out your books and pens, guys. For the purpose of learning, we are going to use a local host on our computers. Okay. We are going to store our website files locally on our computers. That is why we are talking about localhost. Okay, so mtu akikwambia localhost, ama anytime you hear somebody say my website is on localhost, what they mean is that their files, their website files, are being stored locally on their computer. It is not on a remote server that can be accessed through the internet. Okay, so that localhost software that we're going to use is called XAMPP. And the content management system we're going to use is called Wordpress. So CMS stands for Wordpress. Then localhost, the software we're going to use is called XAMPP. Okay. Now, questions before we move. Questions before we get practical, before we get hands-on. Any questions? Because the next few steps will involve us installing two software. That is localhost software, that is XAMPP, and you're also going to integrate it with a content management system, which is WordPress. Okay. So questions before we get hands-on, questions before we get practical. Questions before we get practical. Any question from what we've discussed so far? Kindly, you are not audible. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope you can hear me now. Sijui what the problem could be. Is it just you, Abigail? Ama ni kila mtu? Am I not audible to everybody? Velma can hear me. Thank you. Who else can hear me clearly, loud and clearly? Please confirm before we continue. Kimtai, I see Paris. Nice. Velma, thank you. Okay. Aji Amolo. Sawa. So there is no question. Okay. If there is no question, let us proceed. Tumejua what a website is. Tumejua what a content management system is. We know what web hosting services are. Before I even continue, let me emphasize something here. You see, these services are actually bought. When you want to host your websites away from your computer, that is remotely away from your computer, you're going to buy our hosting service. Okay. So what you want to do is avoid buying these services. So that is why we are going to use not a content management system, but a local host. You may be asking, why are we using a local host and not just buy a domain name or just buy a hosting plan? So we don't know how to create websites yet, right? So we want a training ground. So these two are going to offer us a training ground. WordPress is going to offer us the content management system that we're going to train on, and XAMPP is also is going to replace this. Okay, it is going to replace the need of having this because it costs money to have this. Okay, it is around 5,000 shillings to buy a domain name and a web hosting service. Like, you need to avoid those costs now that we do not know how to code or how to create websites, let us use a local host by the name XAMPP. So the next thing I want you to do is download XAMPP. I want you to go and download XAMPP download. And also we are downloading WordPress. Okay, we're downloading WordPress. Now here you also want to bring out your books and your pens, because babu, if you download the wrong thing, tutakwambia tu pole, si ndio? We shall tell you we are sorry. So before we even move, I want you to note, I want to differentiate between these two. There is wordpress.com, okay, and there is wordpress.org. Acha nianze na wordpress.com. So kuna two versions of WordPress, ama two flavors of WordPress. So WordPress number one is wordpress.com. Now when I say wordpress.com, I mean it is a platform, okay? So a platform like Shopify. Sijui kama anybody has interacted with Shopify here, but it is a platform. By a platform, I mean you do not download anything. Everything is done online. Everything is accessible online. So what you do, you just come here, you log in, you create an account with WordPress. Ukishamaliza creating an account, like I have mine here. Ukishamaliza creating an account, you can log into it and start designing your website from the WordPress dashboard. Okay. Now, the only difference between this and WordPress.org is that WordPress.com is a platform, and this other one is a downloadable software. Okay. The 6.8, okay, was in a updated time to time. So the latest version is the 6.8 version. So what are we going to use? We're not going to use this because this is premium. Okay. By premium, I mean you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for themes. You're going to pay for plugins. You're going to pay for web hosting services. So avoid wordpress.com, okay, the platform, avoid it. What you want to do is download this wordpress.org, go to the website wordpress.org and download it. The latest version is the 6.8 version, okay. That is the content management system you're going to use. Now, the local host in it was XAMPP. That is what we're going to use as our local server, okay. So to download it, just XAMPP download on your WordPress, not WordPress, but on your browser. Just type in XAMPP download. The first link that pops up, that is it. That is it. Now here you have to be careful, okay? So for those that are using Windows computers, this is the versions you're going to download. You can download any of these three. MacBook people, my MacBook people, you're also not left behind. If you're using a MacBook, that is Macintosh OS, this is your poison, okay? So this is what you're downloading if you're using a MacBook, okay? For MacBook for OS, my Windows people, including myself, tuko hapa, okay? So make sure you download the two software, okay? Download WordPress. Mine is already downloaded, so I'm not going to download it again. Also download XAMPP. Mine is already downloaded. I won't download again. But what I'm going to do is send you this link so that you can get the right software. Okay, you can get the right software. So that is for XAMPP, the first one. Alafu also download the org for WordPress. Okay. Yeah, so get the two software from those links. Okay, so the next process we are going to do is install XAMPP, the local host. Okay, so anytime you hear me say XAMPP, what I'm talking about is a local host software. Okay, so as you can see, mine is already downloaded, and it is just a upon me to install it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, XAMPP, this is how it looks like after you've downloaded it. So what I want to do is install it. Installing it, you just install it like any other software out there. Okay, double click on it to start running it. Rahisi hivyo. Very easy, very easy things. We just want to proceed. Next. Now, guys, you have to write this down. So when you're installing XAMPP, its default installation folder is the C, local disk C. This is what I mean, local disk C, where your Windows is actually installed. For those that are using Windows, So to know where your Windows is installed, you look at that logo. Like on my disk C, this is my disk C because that is where Windows is. It is a different letter. It could be D, H, F, whatever. Lakini the logo indicates that that is where Windows is. Okay, so by default, that is where XAMPP installs. Okay, you don't want to change anything here. Just click next. Make sure you do not change anything. Click next. Very nice. So it takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes to install. 1.5 to 2 minutes to install. 1.5 to 2 minutes to install. So kama bado ina install as it installs, acha tupige udaku, acha turudi nyuma a few steps here. Now guys, I've told you that content management is a very powerful tool when it comes to web design and creating websites and everything in between. Lakini guys, I have to emphasize that it is very important that you learn these three programming languages. Okay, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is if for sure you're going to become a web designer, a professional web designer that is going to monetize the skill. You'll have to learn this because it comes a time when a client needs something that is very customized. Okay, and maybe a content management system may be limited in terms of customization because sometimes it just offers you templates and drag and drop options. Okay, so it comes a time when you really need to write some code. Okay, now what I tell my people, if you feel that coding is not your cup of tea, what are you going to do? If coding is not your cup of tea, I advise you to know how to write, not write, but read code. So go study code, not for the purpose of that you're going to write code, but for the purpose you're going to read and understand code, so that when you use AI, you know AI is here with us. So when you use AI to write your code, you can at least understand what it is writing. Okay. So understand some basic HTML, basic CSS, and also some basic JavaScript. It comes in handy. Okay. It comes in very handy. What else? What else do I need to emphasize here? What else do I need to emphasize? Yeah, I think I have emphasized enough. I think I have. Yeah, so but it is installing. It takes about a minute or so. Okay. Acha tupige udaku kama bado ina nini. Kama bado ina install. Kuna mtu aelewi Kiswahili hapa? Is there somebody that does not understand Kiswahili? Can you use AI when I need to code? Yeah, of course you can use AI. Actually, Kev, okay. Saa hizi ukiandika code, if you're writing code, I think you're writing code because you just love writing code. Okay, you just enjoy writing code. Lakini if you're doing business ama you are working, I see no need of writing code. But I say, just as I said, it is important that you know how to read code if you're not writing code. Kwa sababu hata AI itakwambia vitu zingine, sasa ukae ushangae what is this. Okay, so you have to understand what it's saying hata kama you're using AI to All right, good. What is the topic of today, class? I came late. Yusuf, we are talking about web design, okay? A content management system, and we are also talking about a local host software inaitwa XAMPP, okay? So there's a recording. I told you guys do not rely on my recording. So mine is recording. We have done 30 minutes so far. Mine is recording. We have done 30 minutes so far. So if you can record from your end, itakuwa rahisi to follow up with what we've been doing, okay? Kwa sababu if you come late, alafu tumecover something very important like today's class. If you're left behind with today's class ni hivyo, you cannot catch up. It will be very hard for you to catch up, okay? Kwa sababu class ya leo is very important. Installing this software, ukimiss tu one step, you are in Tanzania with Suluhu, we are in Kenya with Ruto, okay? Mateso kila mahali. So be careful. The next steps are very important. After to install XAMPP, the next processes or the next steps are very important. Okay. Be keen. Attention. Yeah, nice. So tumemaliza. We are done installing our XAMPP. Let us click on finish. Very nice. Yes. Now, when you see this kind of interface after you've installed your XAMPP, that tells you that you have successfully installed XAMPP. Okay. So, there's a control panel. I want you to note this because it is very important in the coming classes, a control panel. And on this control panel, the only two things we are going to use are the first two. Number one, Apache, and number two, MySQL. Okay. Apache and MySQL. Okay. I can see there is a hand up before I even continue. I think it's Yusuf. Is it? Yusuf, did you have a question or do you have a question?
Yes, I was trying to say just to maximize the page.
Oh, okay. This one, yeah, XAMPP.
Yeah.
This is how it looks like. Okay. So the control panel.
Okay.
On this control panel, the XAMPP control panel. Previously tulikuwa tunaongelelea about localhost. Tukasema what XAMPP does is eliminate this. You know this are both services, eh? If you want to store your websites remotely, you have to buy a web hosting service. It is about 5,000 Kenya shillings. If you're buying it from a local company like Hostpenacon, okay. Lakini we want to eliminate that cost because we're learning. So that is why we are using a local host XAMPP, okay. So on this interface, the things we're going to use is Apache and MySQL, only those two, okay. Note that. So before we even talk more about XAMPP, actually minimize, then let us install WordPress. First to install XAMPP, next to installing WordPress. Okay, so after you've downloaded WordPress from here, you see the version 6.8, that is the latest version. This is how it downloads as a zip folder. Unaona yangu is 6.81. So ina download kama a zip folder. So what we want is the content inside this zip folder. So what am I going to do? I'm going to extract it. Okay, extract files. Actually extract to my desktop. New file. Okay. Extract. Okay, by extracting nilisema I'm going to use the simplest terms possible. Extract ni kutoa tu hapo ndani. Okay. Ni kuitoa ndani from the zip folder kuiweka ikuwe like bare naked so that we can access the content within it. Wale wenye hawana, I know somebody may lack an extraction application on their laptop or their computer. If you're using a Windows computer, this is what you do. Right click. This is an alternative way of extracting. Right click on that folder. Then come open with Windows Explorer. You see, there's Windows Explorer pale ndani. So what you want is this folder copy that folder mahali popote on your desktop ama penye utai-access easily. Okay. That is an alternative way of extracting. Kama hauna extracting software kama yenye mimi niko nayo. Nice. So, after extracting, utakuwa na folder kama hii. So we don't want this folder. What we want is the folder inside it. That one, the WordPress. Unaona? So to extract, the folder imekuja, alafu inside that folder, there's another folder inaitwa WordPress. Now this is what we want. Okay, so we are copying this folder and iko ndani ya hiyo ingine, we are copying it. Alafu, you remember I told you guys to take note of this. I told you that XAMPP installs by default on the local disk C. It could be any other letter, lakini that is how you know where XAMPP is. Unaangalia that logo ya Windows. When install penye Windows imekuwa installed on your computer. Okay. So we are opening that. We are opening our local disk C. We are looking for the XAMPP folder. Okay. XAMPP folder, I've opened it. Now within the XAMPP folder, tunaangalia htdocs. None of that ka file there, that ka folder there, that is what we are interested in. So open it, alafu we are pasting in our WordPress, paste in our WordPress. Yeah, so give it some time, we paste. Give it some time, we paste. Give it some time to paste. Give it some time to paste. Alafu we shall go over the procedure again, just in case I left somebody behind. Just in case I left somebody behind. Very nice. So, tumefanya nini? What we've done is open this folder after extracting it. Tuli-download this, tuka-extract, tukafungua the folder, tukapata another folder inside it. Sindio? Hii sasa ndo tumecopy. We've copied this. Copy. Kisha copy, we are moving to our local disk C or whatever the letter penye nini yetu imekuwa installed Windows. Sindio? We are opening that. We are looking for XAMPP folder. Okay? Alafu, we are also looking for htdocs. So inside htdocs, that is where we are pasting our WordPress folder. Okay. Kishamaliza hivyo, we go back. We close everything and go back to our XAMPP. Nakumbuka tulikuwa tumeka XAMPP pending. So what we are going to do next, I told you that on this interface ya XAMPP, this local host software inaitwa XAMPP, ama the control panel inaitwa XAMPP, what you're going to use ni hizi mbili peke yake. This is the only things you're going to interact with. Ukipita hapo utakuwa sijui unaenda wapi. Okay. Lakini the two things we're going to interact with is Apache and MySQL. Okay. So what you want to do is start. Unaona there's two buttons here. Kuna start. There's also start down here. So click on start. Hivyo. Ikiturn green, that means that it is well installed. It is up and running, ready for work. Also on MySQL, do the same. It should turn green. Unaona imeturn. Is this green? It should be green. I'm somehow colorblind. Kama sio green, I'm sorry. E-color. Okay. So, to start those two, Apache and MySQL. The next thing I'm doing is clicking under MySQL. Unaona there is an admin button there. Click on admin. Alafu it automatically opens your browser. Okay. It opens a new tab on your browser. Alafu unapata search and interface. Now this is the interface we are interested in. Sasa, PHP my admin. Hii ni in the backend. Okay? Lakini for now, let us just know that what we need is a database. Okay? Unaona, if we look at this structure very well, we shall notice that it is a web server, yes. Lakini within this web server, there are databases. Okay, as in kama sections, hata si sections actually. Anyway, I don't know how to explain this in the simplest terms possible. But in a server, we are storing files. Now, to store those files, we need to store them somewhere. Hatuwezi store to just because we have a website, a web server, then we are going to store it in the web server. No. So within the web server, kuna vitu zinaitwa databases where our website files are stored. Similarly to our localhost interface here, iko wapi? Where is it? Here. Similarly here, we also need a database. Okay, so we are going to create one. We are going to create a database. By creating one, you just click there. Kwa database, itakupatia such an interface. So what you want to do is create a database, and by creating, unaipatia tu jina. Okay, just give it a name. Like let me give it mine, ndo nikumbuke rahisi. Mchoro, I will remember hivyo, si ndio? Haya, nikishapatia na jina hivyo, a name that I will remember, no space, no nothing, just mchoro. It can be uppercase ama lowercase, alafu I'm clicking on create. Okay, I'm clicking on create. So unaona on our left, utaona my database has been added there. Okay, that is the only thing we do there. That is the only thing tunafanya hapo. Haya, before I continue up to there, is there a question? Kuna mtu nimeacha nyuma? Before we move? Abigail, yes, please tell us. I can see your hand is up.
Hi.
Hi.
After create mchoro, mbona iko negative? Hizo zingine ziko positive.
Negative?
Like kuna difference.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it does not matter. It does not matter. You can click on it alafu inakuja positive. Actually, inafaa ikuwe drop down. So you can add tables, but in our case, we're not adding tables. Unajua kuna database, alafu inside that database is kuna tables. Okay, lakini for our case, we're not going to add tables. So inafaa ikuwe drop down. Hivyo. Okay. Now, this is a very nice question. It is a very nice question. Yes, guys, okay, feel that you are being left behind. Piga nduru bana. Piga nduru. This is the only chance we have to learn. Sindio? So, any other question? Kuna swali lingine before I proceed? Ama we are on the same page? Okay, let's good. Kevin says we are on the same page. Nice. So, after I have created my database hapa, I'm going to open a new tab. Nikishafungua a new tab, this is what I'm going to type in a URL, okay, a localhost URL. So localhost, I want everybody to take note of this link kwa sababu this is what we are using actually. I want to take that one, okay. So after we install XAMPP Missouri, you've integrated it with WordPress, make sure you are using this on a new tab the way I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to click enter. Click enter, unaona inanipatia an interface where I can now install WordPress. Okay, so I believe that everybody understands English from the United States. So we are clicking on that, then continue. Clicking on that, then continue. So as you can see, what we need to create our website, inatuambia we should know our database name. Database name ni hii yenye tumekuwa tukiandika hapa nyuma. Okay, what we've been doing just a few minutes ago. Alafu we also need the database username. We shall look at that. Database password. Hizo. Okay, but that is not important for now. Now, guys, this is where you bring out your books, your pens, your recording devices. Kwa sababu ikikupita, my lord, we are just telling you sorry. We cannot help you anymore. Tuwezi kukusaidia kupita hapo. So, unaona, database name is this, what we've been creating here. So, yangu ni mtoro, sijui yako umeunda aje. Okay. So Mtoro, small letters, Mtoro. Hivyo. Nice. Username. Sasa hapa ndo kizungumkuti utokea. Username, when you're first installing WordPress, it is always ROOT. Okay. I know you love your name, but when it comes to installing WordPress for the first time, you cannot use any other name. Hata mimi napenda Mtoro my name, but I cannot use it there. The default name is root. Okay. Anything else, it will refuse. So it will not install. So make sure it is your database name hapa, your database name, alafu root as the username. Okay. The password you can leave it empty. You can leave it empty for now. Localhost, leave it empty, hivyo venye iko tu. WP, leave it as the way it is and submit. Okay, nice. Run installation. Good. Sasa tukifika hapa, we are almost home and dry. Okay, so if I wanted to create a website, let's say I'm creating a website for, let me see, a website for what? Urban Drip? No. Let me create a website for a dental clinic. Let's say dental clinics, ndio? Yeah, dental clinic, ndo hiyo. Username, sasa hapa, I love myself. I can use my name, Mtoro, as my username. Alafu, password, I can use any password I want. Let me say web design 123. So that is my password. Let me copy that. So you want to make sure that you are noting your username. Alafu you are also noting the password because probably you will use it when logging in into your WordPress dashboard. Email, I can use mine. Alafu hide that. What else? Hii tunawacha unchecked the way it is. Leave it ikae tu hivyo. So install. So installing. Okay. Very nice. We are moving smoothly. So login, we want to log in. So my username is my name. Alafu my password nilikuwa nisha copy, login. Yeah, give it some time. And hallelujah, welcome to WordPress. Ukiona welcome to WordPress, umefaulu, umefika. Okay, this is what we want. We want to use the content management system that we've been talking about since we started the class is WordPress. Okay, so in WordPress we are going to create very many things, amazing things like these ones, or even better. Okay, it is very much possible. I'm going to show you how. Questions before we continue? Sipendi kuacha mtu yoyote nyuma. Yusuf, yes, I can see your hand is up. Tell us.
And I wanted to ask, will you pay this local host like the other hosting services?
No, you don't. Now, that is the beauty of WordPress. If you tried to use Wix today, you're going to pay something. At the end of the month, you have to subscribe to their services. I think ni monthly services. Ukienda kutumia Shopify, the same. Ukienda kutumia Webflow, the same. If you go using Odoo, the same. But the beauty of WordPress, God bless WordPress, it is free. Okay. So if you wanted to create a website, the only things you're going to need, the only time you're going to spend money is getting a domain name and a web hosting service. That is the only time you're going to spend money as a web designer.
You need domain and what else?
Hello?
You said you need a domain and what other else?
You need a domain name and you need a web hosting service. Those are the only, that is the only time you're going to spend some money when creating a website. Okay. But thanks to we thank God for WordPress, it is free. So the next thing, acha tuone our content, our course content inasema what is next in line. So tumeangalia web design, we've introduced web design, si ndio? We have looked at XAMPP, tumeinstall XAMPP and WordPress. So next is building our first web page. Okay, building our very first web page. Now, when the class began, wale wenye walikuwa in class early, 8:30 tulikuwa tushaanza. I told you guys the meaning of a domain name, and at the same time I also told you what a web page is. Na tuliangalia an example of this website, tukasema web pages the building blocks of a website. So a collection of them actually make a website under one domain, make a website. So they have to be under one domain because they cannot exist alone. They have to be under a domain name. Sindio? So in WordPress, how do we create a page? Kwa sababu tumesema the building blocks of a website, the page. So how do we create a page? How do we create a page? Let us go back to WordPress with, here it is. How do we create a page? Now, on the WordPress dashboard, kuna this, what do I call this? Is it a button? Okay, kuna this option imeandikwa pages, okay? So to create a page, kuja hapo, okay, let us first view what we have. Now, on our page, on our website, not on our page. On our website, first of all, we have sample page and we have privacy policy. Sasa hizi zinakujanga the moment you just create a website by default, okay? Lakini sasa we want something that is our very own, something that we've made. So what I'm going to do is trash these ones because we do not need them. Trash is deleting, okay? It's just deleting. So acha tuunde something like the home page. So tuunde one. By adding a page, you just click pale juu, add page, okay? Add page. Now this is the interface that gives you the opportunity, very lovely opportunity to type in the name of your web or the name of that page. So kuna kuanga na home page. We shall look deeper into pages in the next coming classes, okay? So saizi, let us create this one page to it a home. Alafu publish. Now, anytime you see publish on a WordPress website, that means save. Okay, so publish is code for save. So I'm saving. Nikifinya publish, I'm saving. Now, view page. Do you want to view page? No. Acha to add two pages. Ikwe home na about. Ndio. Home and about. Acha tuseme about. Tuseme about. Publish nimesema that is just saving, okay? So when we go back to our website, tukienda back to our website, voila, unaona. So we have home and we have about, unaona ni kitu kama hii sasa, lakini on our website yenye tumeunda saa hizi. So basically that is how you create a page. Now, one thing I want you to know is that different pages have different kind of information. The home page has different kind of information from that is contained in the contact us or in the contact page. Okay. So just know that different web pages hold a different kind of information. Okay. So with that said and done, I think tumefunga class ya leo. Yeah, we've done 3 things. Yeah, tumefunga class ya leo. So tomorrow when we come, we are going to look deeper into pages, web pages. Unaona, like ours is empty. Our pages are empty. So we need to populate them with information, okay? We need to populate them with information. So kesho, when we meet at 8:30, we are going to do that. We are going to populate our pages with information look at different kind of pages and their functions on a website. Hivyo, that is work for tomorrow. For now, I'm taking questions. For now,
So
tumefunga.
you said you download which type of WordPress? Is it org or .com?
org. Make sure you get right software. org. Forget about the other one. Okay, the website is wordpress.org. But what you're downloading, org. Okay, you want to go to the wordpress.org website, but what you're getting is this Discover WordPress. When you click on that, this is the latest version of WordPress. Okay, click hapo itaanza kudownload. Okay, get WordPress. Where is it? Download. No, so you can download easily. Naona imeanza kudownload, but mine is already downloaded. So there's no need, eh? Mine is already downloaded and installed. So nime cancel. So go to wordpress.org. Usiende kwa hiyo ingine ya .com. Ya .com itakuchanganya. I think the class is over. I can stop the recording.